everyone, it is time to bump up our Foxglove seedlings. So a few videos back, you saw us starting the hardening off process for our seedlings, and these are completely hardened off. They've actually been outside overnight for probably, what, 3 or 4 days at this point?
I think so.
And as you can see, we are quite full.
Beautiful.
So we are going to bump these up into a larger pot size, and I'll explain a little bit about our process here. So we've been growing foxgloves for, I think, 4 years now.
Yeah.
And it's something that we grow every single year. We have really good luck with the seedlings coming up. Clearly, we have good luck with them. And we put them out in the garden, and they do really well for us. And if you haven't grown foxgloves before, traditionally they are a biennial flower, which means they do not bloom the first year, they only bloom the second year. There are a couple of varieties that we have grown that will bloom the first year. So we've got a mix here of some of the biennial and some of the first year bloomers. But you'll notice that the cells are really, really full. And that is because we do not thin any of our seedlings. So typically when you're growing seedlings, there is a process called thinning where you will choose the strongest plant in a cell, and the rest of them you will just cut back and they will be no more, and then that single plant will take over the cell. Well, we don't do that in our house.
No.
Because it feels wasteful, right?
Why would we waste any plants when we could just separate them and get double?
Exactly. So what we're gonna be doing today is we're gonna be popping these out of this grow tray here. And those that do have multiple plants per cell, we're just gonna gently kind of break those apart, and then we're gonna bump them up into a larger container size. So these are some of the 2-inch containers from Bootstrap Farmer. Typically you might wanna get, you know, a 3 or 4-inch container, but we really like the colorway of this series. So here we are, we settled for the smaller plant, but we can then fit 32 of them in a single tray, which is really nice.
Yep.
So, am I forgetting anything?
When did we start these? I think that's probably important just to know like what in the process, like how many weeks ago that was.
I think that we started them around Valentine's Day.
Okay, so
which
February.
is like pretty late. Like
Yeah.
I usually like to start growing seeds right after Christmas.
Yep.
Usually like around New Year's when we're not doing anything, we'll log on to like Johnny's and Swallowtail Seeds and Eden Brothers and all those seed companies and just order away and kind of dream about spring. But this year we were both like, nope, we are not growing seeds. We are not doing that crazy business. And then about halfway through February, we were both like, wait, we should be growing this stuff. This is fun.
Yeah, and we love it in our garden too.
Yeah, and then we just kind of rapidly started a bunch of stuff. So I think I shared in the last video, we have like 24 blue grama grasses.
Yep.
No idea where those are gonna go. And if all goes well with this, I think we will have close to 50 foxgloves.
Wow, so they're gonna be everywhere, which we love. Foxgloves are something like in our garden that I feel like is just like a staple for us.
Yeah.
And I love to take pictures of the foxgloves when they're blooming. So I feel like this is a fun and good exercise for us to continue forever.
Yeah. So, okay, so we've got our foxgloves. We have this tray here. This is also from Bootstrap Farmer. So there is a bottom piece here that does not have holes. And then this is kind of like the holder for the containers that just fits right in, so you can water them, and any kind of leftover water will just go to the bottom. And then we have our little potting tray here with some fresh potting soil. That's probably another thing I should mention is when you're starting seeds, you do want to use seed starting mix, which is kind of loftier, a little bit lighter for the seeds to grow through. But now that we're bumping them up, you can just use regular old potting soil. They have been hardened off, their roots are a little bit stronger, so they're good to go.
Yeah, and typically you pre-moisten the seed starting mix before you drop the seeds in because they're seeds, they need that constant moisture. At this point, you should just be able to water the plant as normal, so we don't ever pre-moisten, and that's really so it can just, like Tyler said, be lofty and just really healthy soil, just like you would have out in the garden.
Yeah, so once we get all these potted up, we'll water them in, and they'll be good to go. And I think we're probably gonna leave these in these containers outside for another 2 or 3 weeks before we get them in the ground.
Yeah.
Just so they're a little bit more of a substantial plant.
Yep.
when we actually plant them.
Yeah, also fertilizer. So you started fertilizing these in this seed tray
yeah.
a few weeks
Yeah.
back at least. And so that's probably why they've been putting on this bulk.
Yeah,
and
they're
you'll
happy.
continue to fertilize once we bump them up too.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you should have a nice sized plant by the time we go to plant out in the garden.
Yeah. Okay, so I think the easiest thing to do, this is what I did when I was doing this by myself.
Okay.
For the others, is just take some of these
Yep.
and go ahead and like scoop
Yeah.
a bunch of soil. And then I will use the tongs here.
Perfect.
Very carefully to get these out. Do you want gloves?
Sure.
There you go.
Let's see.
All right, we're just gonna get started.
Nice new gloves. I love this.
They're always like so tight.
Crisp. A crisp glove.
Okay. Now the leaves in this are really big.
Yeah.
So let's see. This first one here is Dalmatian peach, which is a first year bloomer. So if you're impatient like I am, this would be a good one for you to start.
Yeah.
It does have the orange color, which is why we're using the orange pots. I do love a little bit of color coding.
Yeah.
Okay, so this just has one. And sometimes you'll get that. Like, I don't know of any seed in the world that has a 100% germination rate.
No.
So like, when you're sprinkling your seeds, you know, you're sprinkling multiple seeds, but you still might just get one healthy plant. And that's okay. I mean, look at the roots. They're like all over.
That's amazing.
So,
okay.
and then you can just plop that in there
Wow.
and then backfill with a little bit of extra soil.
Yep.
And then we'll water them into at the end, which will help kind of settle it all down.
Yep.
And foxgloves are super, super resilient. Like,
Yeah.
last year we grew a bunch of them from seed, and I never got around to planting them.
Oh, look at that.
And
It's so pretty.
it's pretty. And they were just sitting over near the Union Garden all winter long, and some of them are blooming now, just sitting over there by themselves.
It's time to plant them out.
Okay, so here's a perfect example of one that has two. I'm just gonna kind of grab this in the middle.
Yep.
And we're getting some water drippage here.
That's okay.
But I'm just gonna lightly tear away those roots, and they will be a-okay. You're not gonna hurt them.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna basically take this. It's skinnier now, so you'll have to backfill a little bit more. So it fits sort of right in the middle like that, and we'll just backfill right around it with soil, and it'll be perfect. And like Tyler said, we've been doing this for so many years that I feel like we have reached a point where we're just like, this is the easiest thing you could do, and you yield like the most beautiful plants out of it.
And pretty big plants too. Like,
Yeah.
by doing this, we also always have some left over. So like, we've given some to friends, we've given some to our parents.
Yep.
Last year, I gave my dad some of the Pam's Choice Foxgloves, and they are coming up this year to bloom. And I think he's really excited about seeing those.
And Pam's Choice is a first or second year?
It's second year.
Okay, so they have, I would say
So
the
you gotta
difference.
wait for those.
Yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with foxgloves, the first year ones are pretty fat blooms, but it's a shorter
It's
bloom
short.
stock.
It's super short. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And then the second year ones are, I would say, smaller blooms, but the bloom stock is like, I don't know, like 2 feet long
It's
sometimes.
huge, and typically they get like anywhere from 5 to 7 feet tall.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
We have some coming up in the front now. I think they're called Apricot Beauty.
Ooh.
And I couldn't find those seeds this year. That's the other thing that's weird about seed starting is that some years you'll find a seed that you love, and then you'll go to look for that seed next year, and it just is not available for whatever reason. You know, maybe they had like a crop failure, or, you know, maybe it was just not a good variety.
They go fast too.
Yeah. I've also noticed like one year, like Johnny's will be selling something, and then the next year they don't have it, but like Swallowtail will have it, or
Very
like
interesting.
Florette.
Yep.
Oh, I should have said, once you finish these, you can put them in here, honey.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even
It
realize
is ready for you. And I'll just take this tag and put it in here. I mean, we know what this one is because it's orange.
That's hilarious.
Beautiful.
Wow.
This is the kind of
this.
organization that makes me really happy. Okay, I'm just gonna start laying these here.
Cool.
And then, oh my gosh, are all of these Dalmatian peach?
I feel like I'll take as many
We're
as
gonna
we
have
can
these
get.
coming out of our ears. Is there anything we didn't grow from seed this year that you feel like you wish we had, or something that we are growing that you wish we had more of?
I feel like we And this is probably just a good tip for anybody who is just starting out, like growing from seed, and maybe you started because you had that like FOMO feeling of, like we did. I mean, around January, February, you can get past a point where it's too late. But I feel like every year we get that feeling that we had a lot of fun last year with it, and we want to like try it again, but maybe we're ordering last minute. And I feel like when we do that, we just sort of, like you said, go on all the websites and try to see like what's available and grab something really quick. So we kind of go back to the old faithfuls.
Yeah.
But I do feel like there's other stuff that I wish we would have grown that is like a new trial for us.
More experimental.
More experimental.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that. I go back and forth with that kind of stuff because, like, on one hand, I want to be experimental.
Yeah.
But then I'm scared of the failure, and so I'm like, let's just grow foxgloves.
I like the risk.
I'm gonna get you a new color.
That's great. Oh wow, we already made it through one whole color, huh?
Yeah, I thought all of these were Dalmatian peach, but they weren't.
Okay, great.
So we have 9. I mean, that's good.
Yeah, that's great.
It's an odd number, which I prefer.
Yes.
Okay, next up is Pam's Choice. So Pam's Choice is a second year, so it's biennial. So we will not get any blooms this year, but we will get some next year. We do have some that I grew from seed last year that I just planted like 3 weeks ago.
Hopefully they bloom.
They're putting on more foliage, but
Yes. Yeah, and I feel like Pam's Choice, I think we probably have some footage of Pam's Choice that we can drop in. They are so beautiful, and I feel like they are like the classic cottage like bloom.
look how many are in this.
Oh my gosh, is there 3 or
There's 4.
Wow. Okay, well, let's get them
I'm
all.
gonna try to separate, but we might just get 2.
That's fine.
I like Pam's Choice because it looks white from far away.
Yep.
But the inside is like burgundy.
Yeah, that deep pink throat.
And
is
they
really
are
beautiful.
tall. Like
Yeah.
you want to put this in the back of your garden somewhere so that it can rise up.
And if you put it towards the middle, I would just say like group a bunch of them together so that it's one big show.
Yeah.
So that way, you know, there's nothing missing around it.
I'm scared to separate this more, so let's just plant them.
Yeah, and maybe
like
we'll
this.
get just like double the blooms because there's 2 plants in here.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they'll be okay.
Yeah.
I mean, usually foxgloves, I think, are supposed to like spread their seed around a little bit.
Yep.
So, I mean, hopefully they will do that for us.
Yeah, we haven't had a ton of luck with, honestly, really much
one
of the
is
things, much of the flowers that we have grown from seed that obviously, so a foxglove puts on this big, beautiful bloom stalk, and then where the blooms are down the stalk, all of that turns to seeds. You let it dry out, shake the blooms, and all the seeds should, you know, spread around the base of the plant. We just haven't had a lot of luck with, you know, these kind of things spreading themselves around and coming back year after year.
But see, I think it's because we like blow out all of the flower beds in the fall. And if we just kind of left all of that, I think we would have better luck.
I bet you're totally right.
Oh my gosh, this one is insane.
Good roots.
Oh yeah.
See, this is what I like. We have, you know, we grow from seed, and we have had some seeds that are like really weak and they just kind of like, you know, struggle along. All of our foxglove seeds that we've ever used, like we don't have that issue at all. They are great plants for us.
I did have one year where they started to get like black spot. I don't know if it actually was that, but some of the young leaves started to get black spots on them, and I looked it up, and it basically said it was too much moisture.
Okay.
Will you take this one because it's kind of falling apart, and I'm trying to hold it together. See?
Yep, got it. I do feel like that's the thing that you have to, you know, after you've grown seeds for a while, you have to sort of like figure out, you will figure out the balance between what's enough moisture and what, like, how to solve problems as you go. I'll say this year we had a really big problem with fungus gnats. And that's just
you can probably see them.
Yes.
I mean, they're like flying around everywhere.
Yeah, so it's been kind of gross, but they don't really hurt the plant at all. It's just like annoying to deal with. So there's like, you know, it's in your house. So there's several ways you could deal with that in your house. And we tried some of those things, but I feel like it was just like, okay, well, let's go ahead and take them outside and bump up and they'll be fine.
It was a wet year.
Yeah, especially because we have an early spring here, and so there's no reason we can't bring them outside. We don't have a lot of hard freezes typically into April, so that's the thing. I will say, like you said in the other time we talked about these, don't make the mistake of putting them outside and then letting them get rained on, because it will flood them.
They'll never recover.
And they'll never recover, because they just, you know, when they're young like this, they don't recover easy from that kind of thing.
This variety is insane with the number of seeds that I put in all the cells, but also like the germination and I'm trying to separate this as much as possible. And here's the other thing is like, okay, had we thinned, we probably wouldn't have to do this process. But since we didn't, we're going to get more plants.
Yeah.
And even if some of these don't make it, we're still going to have more plants than if we had thinned. And to me, that is a positive.
Yeah, and I kind of enjoy this process. Every year when we do this, I remember
really satisfying.
Last year when we were doing this, it was when I was also redesigning our entire lounge room, the cocktail lounge.
Oh, when we were doing the pansies.
Yes,
and the violas.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay,
Yeah,
we were doing this process for the pansies and violas as well, and I feel like we had a lot going on with design updates on the inside of the house, and this was kind of like a welcome little break to get outside and to do something like this. It's just very satisfying.
You got to catch up.
Well, I'm rolling fast here. I want them to be healthy.
Here, I will. I'll scoop some for you.
Yeah, I do feel like you want to make sure at this point in the process that because you're sort of ripping these plants apart and setting them down in new soil, you want to make sure that they're supported well with the new soil, because sometimes if the base has a very small root at it, so you want to make sure you pack the dirt into that so that it can hold the plants up really well, and so I feel like that's important.
And I do think some people, when they're doing this process, use biotone. We've never done that, and I mean, I'm sure it's beneficial, but I don't find it necessary. Maybe we should be doing it. Maybe they would root faster.
Well, and maybe it's too because of the kind of fertilizer. What kind of fertilizer do you use for your seedlings?
It's the Espoma Indoor or Grow. It's branded differently, but it's really the same thing. It comes in a green bottle.
I think it's the Grow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's called Indoor, sometimes it's called Grow.
Oh, I see. Okay. So maybe it's that because it's the same brand that makes Biotone. So, it likely has a lot of the same stuff in it.
Yeah.
So
and like we're going to start fertilizing them immediately. Like I usually fertilize on Friday, so in a few days I'll fertilize them again and they should be fine. But honestly, like seeing them separate like this, they're really big.
Yeah. So this is a good example. So there's 2 plants right here. 1, 2.
You think that's okay?
Yeah, that's great. And then there's a third right here that probably just didn't have enough, it didn't get enough of something to germinate and get strong. It's probably not going to do anything in here, but it's just interesting that you can get this many in one cell.
Yeah.
Because the seeds are super fine, right?
Yeah, that's the difference actually, is the first year seeds are pelleted or pelletized.
Yep.
So they're a little bit bigger and like you can see them, and they're usually a color like white or orange. The second year seeds it's like dust.
Yeah.
So when I'm putting it in the cell, I'm like, well, I hope there's something in there.
I can scoot over for you. I'm having fun.
Good.
I feel like this is a good thing and so it's like an evening, we just had a drink. I feel like this is a nice thing to do in the evening together.
This is what people in their 30s do, right?
This is date night for gardeners.
They grow their own plants and pot them up together on a Saturday night.
All gardeners can probably relate. If you can relate, say something in the comments. Make us feel better.
This went way faster now that I'm helping.
Okay, good. Hopefully they're up to my standards.
Oh, excuse me. Are you quality control?
Maybe.
What is this?
I don't know. I do feel like this is my role every year.
Wait. We don't need any more of that color because we're going to switch now.
Got it. Perfect.
Okay. So let me grab a new color.
All right.
What do you want? Dark green or light green?
Oh, I like the dark green.
Take this away.
Do we have a lot of those?
Oh, yeah. Let's see, what do we have next? We've got, okay, this is Camelot lavender next.
Ooh, have we done lavender before?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
This is, I can't decide if Dalmatian peach or Camelot lavender is my favorite, but they're both.
I feel like I love Dalmatian peach just because I really love warm colors. But we do have a lot of purple in the garden. We're definitely purple lovers, so I could see how it would be hard to choose.
Well, so Camelot lavender is a first-year bloomer as well. So I usually pair this with the Dalmatian peach, and it makes for a really pretty setting because the coolness of the Camelot lavender with the warmth of the Dalmatian peach is really, really pretty together.
It was going faster when I was pre-packing them.
Yeah. And here's another one, just one.
Oh my gosh.
That's okay. I mean, it's really healthy.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna drop these here for you.
I also feel like when you're growing seeds, like you typically have more than you need rather than, you know, not as much as you need. So I feel like we're always fine. We always buy more plants, you know?
Oh God, I was trying to make a rule this week that we're not allowed to buy any new plants.
What'd you buy today?
Until we plant what we have. And today we bought, well, we bought a flamethrower redbud.
But that's
not
a gift.
for us.
Yeah.
It was for Brian's mom. And then we also bought 3 bearded iris because we're getting into the iris game.
Thank you, joys of gardening.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's the life of a gardener though. Like we have stuff that we need to plant, but when you're out and you see something pretty, you just can't not buy it.
And I do feel like we've been busy lately just at the garden shop and like, you know, there's a lot going on in our life. And so we haven't done our very typical early spring, just like hit every garden center in town Saturday.
Yeah.
So I feel like
and they
you
are
deserve
all
one.
packed.
Oh yeah. That's my favorite, you know, thing about spring is A, it's just beautiful outside. Everything's neon green. But B, you get to go to all these garden centers and see like all the wonders that have arrived. And that's my favorite thing.
Well, it's also fun. And I think that we've mentioned this on Instagram. We don't always go to a garden center or a nursery with the intention of buying something.
No.
Sometimes it really is just to window shop or get inspiration.
Yeah.
And this time of year, it's really fun to see people out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you guys feel that way, but it's fun to see people out at the garden centers. Also,
there's like life.
Gardening, because I'm like, oh yeah, we aren't the only people that do this. There are other people that enjoy this.
Yes, we've been desperately trying to get all of our friends into it so that they speak the language, and they're definitely on the way.
Yeah,
so
I think so.
A friend of ours borrowed our auger the other day, and I feel like it's a gateway drug to gardening.
It really is. He was like, wow, that only took like 20 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, welcome.
And when you realize how fast you can do it, for us, you can just garden more.
Yeah, right.
But I feel
it's not like we're going to do it quickly so that we can go do something else. It's, we're going to do it quickly so that we can plant more stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I also love the leaf structure of foxgloves. Like, that's so pretty, and they're usually a really nice color. They have this sort of like frilly texture, and you can see the veining in them. So, I mean, you're probably not planting foxgloves for anything but the bloom, but at least it's pretty. It looks like a nice little, you know, lettuce.
It is like a nice little mound. Yeah. When they start to come up.
Yeah, I will say we have made the mistake for a few years of pulling up our foxglove plant after they have bloomed, and because it definitely feels like, especially in the South, like, oh, it's like the foliage is worn and tattered because it's really hot and it bloomed already, so it put all of its energy into the bloom. But and so I think that that's probably why we have pulled them, and that's a mistake, because if you can leave them and coax them along and make them healthy, the next year they'll put out blooms for you again.
Well, but so what happens is once they bloom, I think the mother plant actually dies back, and then there's a new plant that emerges.
Yep.
And then the process starts all over again. So for like those second year plants, I think they bloom every year after the first time.
Yep.
But I'm pretty sure the mother plant does die back.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you can keep the foliage, then it's basically spreading via root instead of via seed.
Ooh.
Look at that. We filled the whole one up.
32 foxgloves.
And we're only well, I guess we're over half.
Yeah.
Through. Oh, I still have one more here.
I'll be right back.
It's also nice to do this outside. I know we have friends who do not live in the South, and they are still gardening in rooms in their houses, in their seed growing rooms. And I know I think it snowed last weekend in the suburbs of New York. So
It did?
yeah, it did. So forever grateful that we live in the climate that we do, so we can do stuff like this outside instead of inside.
All right. Up next is Camelot Cream. This is another first-year bloomer. It is creamy. I mean, it's not stark white. There is a Camelot, I think it's called Camelot White. And I did try that one year, and it wasn't as vigorous as the other ones. And I still don't know if it was like...
Can you give me some more of those?
Oh, yes, sorry.
Thank you.
I still don't know if it was like where we had it in the garden or if it was actually the variety, but I didn't want to try again.
Yeah.
The Camelot Cream gets me the white color that we like enough, don't you think?
Yeah, I like we like warm colors. I feel like that's like
yeah, it
like
is
a
like
Super Tunia latte.
it's like a warm white.
Yeah, it's a warm white. It's not stark white. And I feel like that's what we're looking for. Maybe it's a cottagey thing. Like I feel like a cottagey like space calls for warmer color. And so maybe that's why we liked it.
All right. I'm going to get this little guy out of here.
Just in case there was a lag, we switched our camera card, so.
Basically, we were talking too much and took up too much time.
I mean, this and yap.
This, just be careful with that.
Oh my gosh.
And that's it. So
Okay.
you probably don't need all those.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, I can help. Actually, I was just thinking, I did grow last year, and I did plant these in the ground because I was really excited about them. Last year, I grew a white variety of foxgloves that is a second year because I wanted the height that you get from the second years.
Oh yeah.
And I know I said that I like the creamy color of Camelot Cream, but they're just not very tall, at least for the first year.
Yep.
So we'll see. They are starting to shoot up a bloom stalk, but the leaves look weird. So I don't know, TBD.
I feel like we should have done a live.
Alive? Wait, that would be really fun.
would
Wait,
be
let
so
us know in the comments
satisfying.
if you guys would like us to do a live of us gardening.
I kind of love that.
You would get to see like the hot, sweaty mess of Gardener in Love
I feel like maybe if we
in real time.
if we pot up anything else. Oh wait, is this all we've got to pot up?
There are some begonias
Oh.
that are not quite ready, so we will do those later. Yeah,
Yikes.
just be careful with it.
Well, I feel like if we do that, it would be fun to go live because this is really satisfying, and I feel like people love to see really satisfying things on lives. Just hang out, passing the time.
Well,
which-
and it would be very casual, like just like this, how we're talking now.
yeah, could be really fun.
Okay.
Oh, one of these things is not like the other,
What do you mean?
but we're gonna give him a chance.
It's really funny how small it is. Okay, we can dump
these.
those.
Okay.
Should probably like wash
Yes.
all of these at some point.
Yeah. So a lot of people wash all of their seed starting materials. So all of their trays, all of their, if you have reusable pots, all that kind of, all of that kind of stuff every year in like a big giant bowl with some soapy water and maybe vinegar. We don't do that. But we've never had like disease or anything like that
Yeah.
in our seed crops.
Which I feel like
so-
if you had
Yeah.
a disease, you would know.
Yeah.
And you would want to wash. But
Yeah.
we haven't had an issue. So until then,
Yeah.
we're just gonna keep going like this.
And typically because we use like vermiculite and stuff like that, we don't have a lot of issues with even like,
Look,
what does that say?
there's nothing on this. It completely rubbed off.
Good luck.
But it's pink gem.
Oh, okay.
So this is another biennial. So this won't bloom until next year. But we have the perfect spot for this that you guys will find out about later. A
Big
new garden,
things.
which Like, I can't believe I'm still saying, like, new garden. I mean, how many times are you people going to make a new garden?
Listen, the limit does not exist. If there's a space in this garden that has grass in it, then there's an opportunity. And I'm all in the camp of less grass, more garden, and just paths everywhere. And I feel like if you do that right, then you're killing it. I feel like that is the goal.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I think this is only 3. They're just planted really close together.
Oh, wow. Butterfingers.
So pink gin obviously is pink, but it's kind of like a baby pink, and it will get, I think the tag says 5 to 7 feet tall. So I'm like imagining what that's gonna look like, where we're gonna put it.
It will be beautiful.
I feel like people are gonna stop and stare.
Yes.
Which, okay, now I'm giving away where it's gonna be.
Yeah, come on.
You'll find out.
Yeah, it's a big week, so stick around.
I was heavy-handed with these. Look at this. There's like 5 plants in here.
Oh my gosh.
But the second year seeds are not pelletized usually, so they're like
hard to see.
Literally dust.
Yeah, that's so interesting. It's like you hold some dirt and there's specks and stuff in there. If you were planting, you would never know the difference between the specks of dirt and the specks that are actual seeds.
Ooh, this one didn't get very many roots.
That's
sorry.
All right.
I'm trying to just like separate them as much as possible. Oh my God, there's 4 right here in this little fan.
Wow. I feel like we even the ones that don't have a lot of roots, that don't get well established, I feel like we still have success with those after we pot them up into the fresh dirt. So, and then of course fertilize them. I think he's a goner. He's a.
You should try. Just try.
Okay.
Where did it go?
It's right.
No, I'm not kidding. Where did it go? Oh, it's right here.
It's so light, it just stayed there in your hand. Didn't want to go anywhere.
Okay, I'm not trying to separate these any more than that.
Yeah, I will say one thing about planting in potting soil is you'll get some little sticks and things that are fine when you're potting up a spring container, but not great for when you're starting seeds. So you'll have to get rid of some of those.
Okay, last one. All right, I'm gonna do this little teeny guy.
Just settle him down in there.
Give him a hope and a prayer. Good luck.
So, if you were gonna have a soundtrack to your seed starting, what do you think it would be?
Is this a joke?
I think so. You just said "Living on a Prayer," and I was like, "Wow, I wish we had some music playing right now."
I see. Okay. Definitely Survivor by Destiny's Child. Because sometimes I'm like, you know what? You guys are going to make it.
Yeah.
I feel really positive, even if they don't look too good.
I feel like it's like a walkout song moment. Like
definitely.
That, I feel like that's an icebreaker when you start a new job. Like, what's your walkout song? So,
I'm trying to think of other...
what's that song, the like tiger, In the Eye of the Tiger?
Eye of the Tiger? That's funny.
I feel like we've literally brought life into the world here.
I mean, yeah.
So it has to be momentous.
I'm trying to think of other songs that I feel match the energy of like hope, waiting, being impatient.
I feel like it's like any of the soundtracks to like the Planet Earth movies.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like the scientific side of this is fun.
How many do we have left?
I think 3.
Okay. There you go.
Perfect. Got some extra dirt here, but that's okay.
Oops.
Put it back in the bag. I saved the bag.
Actually, the last time I did this, I just left the dirt in this.
Oh, okay.
One, because I was too lazy to put it back in the bag.
Checks out.
But 2, I knew we were going to do this again, so why would I put it back in the bag and then have to get it back out?
Yep.
That's the thing about our relationship is I'm the person that tries to do things most efficiently, but sometimes is perceived as laziness.
Huh. I could see where it could be perceived as laziness for
You
sure.
could?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well.
I'm gentle. That's why it takes longer.
Sure. All right, I'm gonna take this away and bring back our other tray that is full. Oh my goodness.
In the
Now watch this off.
eye of the tiger.
Oh gosh. Please spare us.
Dream of the fight. Finding up. Ah.
Sorry. I'm making more of a mess.
Classic.
Okay, but see how satisfying this is with the different color pots?
It's really nice.
Like, not only is it aesthetically pleasing,
yeah,
but now I know which is which based on, like, I just know, even if these tags go away, I know, like, okay, well, this one's different from this.
Yes, even more satisfying is seeing them bloom out in the garden. Not on
Knock
full.
yourself out. Here, I'll move this so this doesn't
Should
get
we
wet.
mist or should I do shower?
I think that you could do a light shower.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna water these just very carefully. This will get all the...
And you're just trying to settle them a little bit.
Yeah.
Ooh, be careful with that one because it's...
Oh yeah,
has
need
no
some dirt in there. This will also tell you, like, you can go back and add a little bit of dirt if you need to. Because as they settle in, the water will obviously help, you know,
a little beat.
settle the plant down into there. Beautiful.
Gorgeous.
I can't wait to see these in the garden.
Okay, how many is this though? 32, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 22. What's 32 plus 22, quickly? 54.
54.
54 foxgloves, that's pretty dang good. I'm proud of that.
Yeah, I feel great.
Now, where are we gonna plant 54 foxgloves?
Listen, these are problems that we will solve later. I think tonight we did what we needed to, and I feel successful.
Me too.
All right.
All right, that does it for this video. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys.